Yeah, hey. Thanks for coming. Welcome to the show. Please let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Check, 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 double check. Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope it's clear. All right. I hope everybody is well. It's been a while since I did a live, a few weeks. So, yeah. I'm just waiting for you guys to give me some comments. Also, give me some thumbs up if you can as well. That would be good. You know how it is. The Google algorithm, it needs its thumb juice. All right. Let me turn this down a little bit. I hope you guys can hear me well. Yeah, I'm just waiting in the comments, if you will. Let me know. Can you hear me? Let me just put that, write that up. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Here we go. We can hear. Good, 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 good. All right. Good, good. All right. We're good. Welcome, everybody. If you don't mind, two little things. Give me a thumbs if you like the stream so that it notifies other people. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. And also, yeah, let me know where you're from in the comments. Like Lucas just said, hello from Argentina. Thank you very much for all your work. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. I enjoy it. I come from a family of teachers, including my father, so it's kind of in the blood, you know. It was not my expectations to become a teacher, but I just, you know, it is what it is. Very good. All right. Thanks for the feedback. All right. Cool. Good stuff. Hey, Jamming Coder. I see new faces, some old faces as well. Thanks for coming. Cheers. Hello. All right, guys. So we're getting up and running here. Very good. I got this new keyboard. I should be able to put in my emojis now. How about this emoji? Is this gonna work? Boom. Come on. No. My emoji game needs work. It's not coming out too clear. All right. Come on. Well, whatever. All right, so what's going on here? All right, we got people rainy Minneapolis, Algeria, Toronto, South Africa. Sleeve, oh, you're up late. Orlando. Yeah. Detroit. What do we got? Hey, how are ya? All right, so I'll get to the question soon. What I want to do now is I want to jump into the subject at hand. How to make money with code. There are 3 ways you can do this, basically. And I'll give you the pros and cons of each way. And we'll do a little bit of discussion about that as well. So, yeah. Number 1, you learn the code. First thing you do is you get a job. That's the easiest, the quickest way to start making money in coding is to get a job. Because there's little risk when you get a job. You don't have to put out money like you do with other types of money-making ways with code. I'll always get my notes here. So yeah, when you got a job, it's the fastest way to start up, you can argue, although freelance could be pretty quick too. But anyway, when you do get a job, it's the most stable income that you would have, right? You're working, you get your paycheck every 2 weeks, and there's no risk. Those are the pros of getting a job. The minus of getting a job is that you have the limitations of the job where you're going to be told what to code on, when you're going to work. There's typically, especially in the first couple of years, although coders make a lot of money, but in terms of the three options you have, the three broad categories in terms of how you can make money with code, working a job is typically the least lucrative financially. Although coders, as you know, can make a lot of money. Well, they do. On average, in the US at least, if you go to Indeed.com, the average entry-level developer makes in the 90K range. That's according to Indeed. That's in US. Where you live will affect that, of course. But and then like I think the average developer with 3-4 years experience makes 150 US 150K. Although some can make much more, and some will make less. Again, depending where you live. So anyway, those are the basic outline of getting a job. Now we won't get into how to get a job right now, but let me just go with the two other ways you can make money with code. The second way is the freelance, of course. Freelancing, if you don't know what it means basically going out there doing small little gigs, small little contracts, typically for small business, and you build things for them. In the freelance world, the web is king, so it's typically web apps, websites. You might be working with content management systems like WordPress or Drupal. You may find yourself using a builder like Webflow or Wix, or you might use there's several other tools out there. You might find yourself doing e-commerce. It's very, very broad when you're freelancing, but a general rule about freelancing, especially when you're first starting out, freelancers will typically work with small to medium-sized businesses. So a mistake that people will make when they first get into business, especially as you're freelancing or you got a small little development shop, is they'll try to chase after the big companies, figuring they're going to make the big contracts. That's not the way to do it. As I've been teaching for years, you're much better off with 15 small clients, 15 small clients than 3 big clients. Why? Because it gives you a lot of power. When you only have a few big clients as a freelancer or as a business owner, you're at their whim. They control you, and they know that too. So they'll throw their weight around and cause troubles. So yeah, so freelancing, in summary, it's a little bit slower to start up as a freelance company. Not everybody, in my mentoring group, we have people who come in and they get jobs right away, and other people it's much harder for them. It depends on your personality, your contacts that you may already have or not have. But typically, as a general rule, freelancing takes a little bit more time to get that freelance business going. It's not stable at first as well. Freelancing tends to be a lot of ups and downs. So you have to be much better money manager as a freelancer. And one of the good things with freelancing, of course, there's very little risk. You don't have to hire people at first until you're making money. You don't have to buy all kinds of equipment. You don't have to invest tons of money into development without no return. So it's a very low risk business, not so stable at first, and slower to start out. But once you get your freelance business going, many times you can make significantly more than you would normally make working for somebody. Again, these are general rules. I know there's always exceptions, blah, 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 but there you go. So the third way, method number 3, where you're going to make money, where you can make money with coding, is, of course, starting a software business. That typically means a SaaS. You develop some sort of piece of software, and then you license that software out to companies, to government, whatnot. That is the slowest type of business to start typically, because you got to write the software, you got to come up with the business idea, you got to come up with the model, then you got to start writing tons of software. So it takes a lot more time for that to be profitable for you typically. again, that's not a stable business. When you're starting any new business, whether it be freelance or any software business or whatever business, it's typically not as stable in terms of income at first. And it has the highest risk. And I think, but 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 3 years. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 3 years. But the reward is pretty much unlimited. Pretty much unlimited. So there's a huge motivation to want to start a business simply because of the return on investment could be massive. So I've done all these things. I haven't worked for anybody. Last time I had a job, I was a bouncer in a nightclub. And so I never worked anybody. The closest I came to working for somebody outside of my bouncing work when I was 18, 19 was when I did a contract working for a very large publicly traded company. I was brought in as a hired gun. But that was the only time, and that was only a short contract. Other than that, for me, it's always been freelance or building businesses. Right now, if you don't know, I have one called Studioweb. You can check it out, studioweb.com. And it's a SaaS-based service that I sell access to my coding platform and classroom management platform to schools. I got all kinds of schools all over North America and different parts of the world. So I currently do that. That's one of the things that I do. So that took years to build. I built the prototype with my small team. That took months to build with no expectations. And then I was lucky. I got a couple of schools who contacted me. And then we started building the business up from there. A lot of time and money was invested in that thing before it stabilized. Yeah, so there you go. In a nutshell, those are the 3 ways you can make money with business. Get a job. That's the quickest and easiest to do typically, but least amount of money, least flexibility, least upside. Freelancing, it takes a little bit more time in getting a job, but it's also a no risk. Like getting a job, it's practically no risk, but it's unstable at first. You have to be better money management. You have to be better at money management, and there's potential to make significantly more than you would working for somebody. And finally, building your own business, which is a SaaS-based business typically, where you create software and then you license that software out. That's the hardest to do, but also by far and away, that's where the big money is made. That's where the big money is made. But you have to have the guts for that. Like I think Elon Musk said once, he said, building a business is like chewing on nails and swallowing glass. So it can be a difficult thing. What you decide to do depends on your personality type, depends on whether or not you can afford to take risk at this time. If you're like 50 or 60 years old and you've never had a business, starting a business is a risky thing, except for freelancing. But if you're young, that's when the time to start a business. If you're young and you got no dependencies, you got no responsibilities, your 20s, your early 30s, that's the time to really shoot for some big business because you have time to recover if it doesn't work out, you know? Yeah. All right, we'll get into how we do. 20 minutes, we got it done. So let me just get to some of the questions here, right? All right, let's see what's going on here. What's up, Detroit? From Egypt, all right. Toronto, fellow Canuck, how you doing? Algeria, Minneapolis, South Africa. We covered you guys. Sorry about that. All right, first question. What do you think a 2-year software engineering student could make money doing side jobs? Probably writing scripts, perhaps for a small, medium-sized business, maybe building websites, working on web apps, that kind of stuff. If so, where would I start? I'm a full stack engineering, C# and Java. Well, you may want to try to get like a stagiaire job, working for a medium-sized business, doing C# and Java, and that a lot of times will turn into a full-time job or a paid job. So that's an option for you as well. Fortunately, since you know C# and you know Java, and you're doing full stack, you know the web. The web is the king of freelance, so you're in a good position there. Anderson, Nevada, very cool. Lots of respect from the UK. Well, I appreciate that. It's very late here. Yeah, I know. It's 6 hours ahead. It's It's what is it? It's like 12. No, it's not 12. It's like 2 in the morning. But everything for one that made me who I am. Greetings. But everything for the one who made me. Who I am. Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad I was able to help you, man. Thanks for joining the stream. I was one that had a punching bag. Excuse me. Hold on. This thing. There we go. I was one that had a punching bag in our Zoom call. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I vaguely remember. I don't clearly remember, but I vaguely remember that. Hey, Steph, thanks for your videos. Really appreciate them. Hey, no problem. Thanks for joining the stream, everybody. Thanks for the thumbs up, too, everybody. You know how it is with the Googles. Hey, Trey, how are you? How are you? My mouse, I'm using this thing. It's giving me some trouble. Hello from Nigeria. Hey, how are you? Cheers. Sweet Islands of Trinidad. Sweet Islands of Trinidad, Tobago. Very good. I got to visit there one time. I've been to the islands. I've been to, where have I been? No, Trinidad. Yeah, that's not the island. Is it the islands? Yeah, it is. What time in Nigeria is it? It's late in Nigeria right now. It's pretty late, I would imagine. Arkansas, Hudson Valley, New York. Hey, just a little bit south of me. I'm up in Montreal, Canada, by the way. But you look a bit tired. Hope you're healthy and feeling well. Greetings from Germany. I am a bit tired tonight. And I've been dealing with what I would characterize as long COVID. It's almost all gone, but it's still meh. The problem I've been having with the long COVID thing lasted months. I stopped training. And when you don't train when you're my age, 169 years old, your body gets weak fast. So you got to keep training. And I'm going to start doing my hot yoga tomorrow. And I think I might join a boxing gym. I don't want to spar. I miss sparring. And I'm reluctant to join a boxing gym because I don't want to be tempted to spar because I'm a little old. And when the reflexes are, even if you're a split second slow, not a good thing. But I'm a little tired. Good eye. You got a good eye there. I've been looking for an IT job for 3 years now. Well, you got to really, when you've been looking for a few years like this, you got to reevaluate and start studying why. Start getting feedback from people who didn't hire you. And make sure your resume is cool. Make sure your skill set's aligned. You got to, the job of getting a job requires some work sometimes. So you have to, if you have been at it for 3 years and you haven't been able to land a job, you should reevaluate how you do things. So that, so you can improve that situation, of course, right? All right. I'm self-taught and got a job 6 months ago as a software engineer following your advice. Thanks. Hey, congratulations, William. Good stuff. That deserves double guns. All right, good stuff. Nice job. See, that's what I want to hear. I got into non-IT job just to make it was too hard. Well, you got to keep working it. Practice. What I would do is you should join my Discord and talk to people on the Discord channel. Here it is right here. It's the Code Long and Profit Discord channel. Right up here, Code Long and Profit. And start engaging with people. Find out, get some feedback on your resume. Work on it. You make sure you have the good skills. Find out what's going on. Just work it. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. That's what I like about this. I get to speak. I miss doing these lives. Speaking to people all over the world, from Ghana, Florida, West Africa, Poland, New York, Toronto, New Jersey. Hey, Uncle, I'm from New Jersey, USA. What do you think about YGU computer science degree? It's fully online and cheap. I don't know about these people, so I couldn't say. Check out the reviews. Shameless self-promotion. I got my own mentoring program you may want to check out. UncleSteph.com. And you see links below. Hi, I'm interested in the freelance route, as I do not want to get ripped off. and I have to do tons of work for someone else's goals by getting a job here. Yeah, getting a job it's not all bad. Like I hadn't work again. Last time I worked for somebody, I was like 19 years old, which is like 150 years ago, and I was a bouncer. So I'm pro entrepreneur and freelance. That said, there are advantages to working. If you got a good job where you're paid a lot, you have a lot, you can have an autonomy, you don't have any risk. When you leave the job, you don't have to worry about anything. So there's pros and cons to everything. But I encourage you to go into business if you want to get to business. And freelance, by the way, is the first great business to get into. Freelancing for sure. It teaches you a lot about business without a lot of risk that you have to incur with a typical business. So yeah, that would be my advice. Got a job learning WordPress, getting paid, 17. Oh, there you go. See, that's the thing. WordPress is one of these weird things. WordPress is like hated by developers. Not all of them, but a lot of people don't like it because it's its own thing. To be good at WordPress, you have to know a bit about code, but you have to know about WordPress. You have to know about the WordPress ecosystem. So there's a lot of opportunity there. A lot of opportunity. $5, $10, $15, $20,000 WordPress gigs, jobs, meaning contract work. Not uncommon. Not uncommon. Lots of WordPress out there. Yeah. Good job there. Casey, I've been thinking about freelance or making apps for Shopify. Seems like making websites is low pay. No. If you're trying to do just basic static websites, I can see that, unless you're like a top flight designer. But if you're doing freelance web, you have to be able to provide more than just static basic HTML, CSS sites. You're going to have to take it to the next level. Or if you do that, you have to have really efficient workflows so that when you're building those basic websites, those little cheap jobs for $500 or $800, you're able to do it in like an hour or two where you're making good money. Yeah. Freelancers need to understand some marketing for self-promotion and such. I agree with that. I like the SaaS site. Yeah, SaaSes are cool, man. Maybe combos of SaaS and freelance. 100%. You could start freelancing to generate income, and then you could be working on your SaaS product on the side. I've done that a few times. Like my funniest one is, this is a long time ago, I started building a dating site as a project. I wanted to explore some different Java APIs. This is way back. And so I said, I'm going to build a dating site. But I built a unique type of dating site. The dating site allowed itself to be plugged into other sites. And then it would take on the skin of other sites. I don't think anybody's done that since then. So my idea was to partner with a bunch of like nightclubs and stuff. I said, listen, you have a nightclub website. Why don't you offer online dating? And you just plug it in and my system will reskin to your site and it's free. So I had people, clubs, and starting to hook up with my system. And then one day I was debugging it, and I noticed I had some woman sent me a tech support email. So I started debugging my messaging system, and I realized that I had tons of swingers. I had thousands and thousands of swingers on my dating site. And I was like, how did this happen? So what happened is some big swinger club down in, I think it was Florida, they hooked up with my system without me knowing. And then always had thousands of swingers setting up all kinds of swinging events through my site. It was pretty funny. Anyway, I've told this story before. So yeah, that was one project. I made a mistake. I got a little shell shocked. I had all these swingers and stuff, and I was like, it was on the edge of porn. And it's not, porn back then was not what it is today in terms of the taboos and stuff. So I didn't want to be like the swinging coder, so I decided to shut that down. I should have sold it because it wasn't a huge site. It had maybe 17,000 members, a lot of paying members. So anyway, but I shut that down. This is back in the day. I was such a pure nerd. I would build projects. I would build systems just for the heck of it. Anyway, yeah. Just a slight note here. Yeah, I invite you to check out my Discord. Link is below. So we just had a couple of people join here. Yeah, it's pretty packed. We got over 3,000 members. You got the lounge, and you got people talking about jobs. You got people participating with each other. So yeah, check out the Discord. It's free. All right. So also, Discord's a good place to go where after my stream is over, you can continue the conversations. All right, let's see what's going on. I started as a freelancer helping master's students in masters implement their white papers. Very cool. That's good. Ore, that's Villarreal. I think I said that right. Maybe not. Chris, how are you, man? Hey, Steph. Loving the boot camp, sir. Ah, very cool. I'm glad you enjoy it. Just in case you guys don't know, I have a boot camp called UncleSteph.com. In the middle of the JS now, after JS, is that the time to start looking for small jobs? I built my portfolio site for a friend's podcast, both in HTML. Ah, very cool. You should post that, Chris, that portfolio site on the forum so that we can get some contacts. Send me, get some feedback. Send me a message too when you posted it. I'll take a look. I'll give you some feedback. But yeah, if you got that portfolio site going, I like to see that. Make sure everything's tip top, and then yeah, why not? Go for it. You already built something. It's cool. Built Studioweb with PHP, right? No Java? Exactly. It is, Studioweb is PHP based, simply because Java is, I find it to be too verbose. You can build something in PHP with a fraction of the code that it takes to do with Java. And trust me, I was a huge Java coder. I did Java exclusively for several years. But these days, for me, for web apps, in my opinion, most of the time I find PHP, since PHP 5.6 and up, it's a solid choice. It's easy to onboard people. It's pretty damn performant. All the old PHP problems that existed in the past are gone now. Especially now we're up to PHP 8. It's pretty good. But you can build good apps in any of the main technologies today. So don't worry about it. Ahmed Yusfi. Hi, Uncle. I have a quick question. What do you think about .NET? .NET's cool, man. .NET's cool. One of the coolest things about .NET is you got the Microsoft code editors, Visual Studio Code. Very powerful. It's a consideration. So .NET is thumbs up. Being a contractor and working for multiple companies at the same time. Okay, that's a statement. I guess you are a contractor. I got FU money. Why I want to do it and don't want no cubicle. Ah, there you go. Yeah, I totally get that, man. Trust me, I totally get that. I advise people who want to get into freelance or start a SaaS, you transition into it. So you don't see you don't have this brick wall you're going to hit where you run out of cash. But always have FU money. If you don't know what FU money is, I have a video on that on my channel. In short, it's emergency money. So it's emergency money to cover at least 6 months. I say a year is safer. I used to say 2 years or more, but it really depends on your circumstances. If you're freelancing, I would have at least a year of FU money. If you're working for somebody, it's a stable job, you've been there a while, maybe you can bring it down to 6 months, but I still prefer a year. Yeah, if you have now, but interest rates are pretty decent, you can put money into savings accounts, get some decent interest for change. So it kind of makes sense there. Don't take option 4 like I did. Focused on Scratch, mastered it, no jobs. Who knew? If anybody doesn't know, Scratch is a drag and drop. They call it a language, a programming language, but it's more of a tool to teach people basic concepts. Apparently, you can build some stuff with it, but there's no jobs in Scratch, that's for sure. Hybrid option: holiday full-time jobs and side hustle freelance jobs. 100%. 100%. The side hustle is a good idea. Should I learn? Oh, hold on. This thing's a little buggy. Should I learn JavaScript before HTML and CSS? No. Learn HTML. You don't have to learn all of CSS. No, you don't have to learn all of HTML either. Just learn a bit of HTML. learn a touch of CSS, so that you know how to do the basic styling, basic layout, and then go into JavaScript, because a lot of JavaScript is manipulating the DOM, manipulating the tags in your web pages. That means the HTML, and manipulating the CSS. So you have to understand those two really. In my course, I have a CSS, I have an HTML5 course, a CSS3 course, and a JavaScript course, and they can be taken independently, but they're kind of designed to work together. Between those three, you got a few hundred videos, so you got a lot of training there and interactivity. Hey Steph, what method is used to deploy projects in a portfolio website? How do I get a screenshot picture of my project to display? Thanks. When you're setting up your basic portfolio website, you don't need any special method. Just any basic hosting will be good enough. And if you're going to be freelancing, you have to understand hosting and domain names and how to upload sites. Whether it be FTP or through a control panel that they provide. It's not a big deal. When you get into source control, whether it be Bitbucket or GitHub or something, that becomes much more important when you're developing applications. B, you got a team, so you got to organize the coding amongst several people. That's when you have to be concerned about that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you don't mind, guys, if you like the stream, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. Okay. Is there any freelance platform like Upwork do you recommend? I don't recommend anyone in particular. I find that you talk to different people and they have different experiences. Just try out, do the research, see what people are saying. Join a couple of platforms, see how it works for you. You got to learn to work them. But I have no specific recommendations. Hello, sir. Want advice? Being Java junior dev for almost 3 months, but want to switch to AI with Java. Any advice? Are you getting paid as a Java junior dev? If you got that first job, I would suggest get at least 6 months in there. What I would do is I'm assuming you're getting paid, get paid, save money, so you build up your FU security money. Keep learning as a Java junior, and on the side, start working on AI. Start developing AI skills and chops. And then, because when you have some AI skills that you developed on the side, when you have some good work experience, 6 months, a year or something, you got some FU money, when you go looking for an AI work or AI job, if that's what you want to do, you'll be in a much stronger position. And trust me, you're in already for what, 3 months, you said? Do another 6 months or another, it passes. It's like this. Passes like this. Ultimately, if you could show a solid year at that at the job, so it's another 9 months, not a big deal. That will make you far more valuable to prospective employers, and it will give you time to work on the AI on the side and to save some money. All right. People can maybe leave comments in the leave some suggestions in the comments or on the Discord. Again, the Discord links below. What else do we have? Later. Steph, do you cold call small business for freelance? No, I've never done that. Well, have I ever done that? No, once you get your first few contracts, and I talk about that in other videos, how to do that, then word of mouth usually picks up quite a bit. You can look at my previous videos. You can find me talking about that. Hold on, I forgot. You had a second question. My backend knowledge is mainly Java SQL, and I have knowledge of Angular and learning TypeScript. Yeah. For freelance, you're going to find there's a lot more JavaScript and a lot more PHP. Yeah, not so much Java. SQL is very cool. But again, since you know Java and TypeScript, you'll be able to pivot into JavaScript PDQ pretty darn quick. No problem. Thanks, Sebastian. Appreciate it. Cool. Seems like junior jobs are FT. Is it possible to find PT entry work in the current day and age? or FT. What do you mean by FT and PT? There's this. I know people who got right out of a boot camp and they got a job right away, just like last year. I have people from my mentoring program who come out of my mentoring program, they get a job pretty quickly. Have you any idea about Solidity? I haven't used it. I would have to take a look at it. I have learning C++ for 3 months, and I understand the fundamentals pretty well. I've been doing some command line projects alongside LeetCode. What should I do now? Should I learn a different language? Well, I would work towards, look at the job market, look at the type of work you might want to do, and start boning up your skills accordingly. Maybe see if you can get some gigs on the side. If it's a type of job, if you want to do, I don't know, C++ coding, you may be able to get some internship somewhere. Yo, how you doing, Gregory? Hope everything is well. Pretty good. Starting to lose my voice, so this stream's going to end fairly soon. Of course, I've been on it for 40 minutes. Hey, how you doing, Manny? Thanks for joining the stream. Hello, Mr. Shok. Saskatoon, another Canuck. Singapore. Hello from Asia. Yeah, Singapore is one of those cities I want to visit big time. I hear such great things about Singapore. That's a place I want to go. Another place I want to go, the Philippines. When I was, one of the things I did a little bit of is Filipino martial arts. Eskrima, Cali. Best stick and knife game in the world, the Philippines. Hey, Steph, I would like to know what exactly I can do in the freelance route. Not many go into details of this path. Does it make sense simply to fix issues in websites? It's going to be web related. When you're doing freelance, it's going to be small business work. Most of the time, it's going to be web related. Not all the time, but most of the time. So you guys just start exploring that. I've done lots of videos on that. Hey, Steph, I'm considering signing up for your homeschool course, or should I sign up for your PHP courses as well? If you want to learn PHP, I teach 3 programming languages. I teach Python, JavaScript, and PHP. I teach you the languages, but I also use the languages to teach particular concepts. So, for example, I go deeper into OOP with Python. I teach CRUD operations and server-side programming with PHP. I teach visual programming and front-end programming with JavaScript, of course. It doesn't hurt to learn. You know, learning PHP won't hurt you. You can't damage yourself from learning a language. Even if you never use it, it's always a benefit. What do you think about the blockchain developer is good in the future? I think blockchain is going to be around, but I think it's going to be a very niche product. Very niche. Yeah. Brazilian freelancer living in the Philippines here. Hey, very cool, man. Very cool. How come you never got a job, Steph? It was not my intention. It's just I got a job. I was a bouncer. I was a bouncer in a nightclub. It's just my first business, which was dry goods business, import, export, rare fish, all kinds of weird stuff. I just started when I started tinkering around with that when I was 17 while I was going to school. And it was like a side hustle for me as I was going to university. And I would work as a bouncer. I would go to university and I was side hustling with the business. And then at one point I decided I made a decision between continuing with my education or pushing my business forward. I figured I could always go back to university. The business opportunity was there. And then it just, I never needed to get a job after that. I think that's this quick answer. Greetings. Greetings from Montreal. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Hi, do you have any insights into UX design and coding? Thanks also. If my plans don't work out, I'll be a bouncer. That's it, Lara. I have to tell you, when I was a bouncer, I worked at a pretty high-end nightclubs, and 2 of the biggest in Quebec. I think perhaps in Canada. Anyway, I have to tell you, the women, they were the deadliest. They were the most vicious fighters out there. They go for the eyes right away. go for the groin. They didn't mess around. They went from 0 to 100. You had to be very careful when you were bouncing the ladies. They could be pretty rough. UX, UX, any insights into UX design and coding? Can you be more specific about that? What questions you may have? No, I think it's over. There's not possible to code in your 40s. I'm just kidding. Matthew is he was a member of the mentoring group. He got his first job as a coder in his 40s. Very cool. Good to see you, man. Hope everything is well. Please, can I get a job only with Python, Flash HTML, and little knowledge of JS? Yes, that's possible. You don't need to be a master of JS, to be a very successful developer. Of course, Matthew was only kidding around, Andy. He was only kidding around. What is called Stefander? That's cool. Sounds fun. Currently making a transition from WordPress to Java Spring Boot. Whoa! It is definitely a process, to say the least. No kidding, man. KG609. Big move. The biggest move with Java is that by the time you finish writing your Java code, you've aged 2 years. No, I'm just kidding. Java's cool. If you can learn Java, if you like Java, there's plenty of money and plenty of job security in Java. It was my favorite language in the day. And a lot of the Java jobs are typically for larger organizations. All right. Again, shameless self-promotion. No, not self-promotion. Just promoting the Discord server, the Code Long and Profit Discord server. So we got a bunch of people who've joined already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not bad. 7 so far. Yeah, I invite you to join. You can continue this conversation when I'm offline, because we're almost 50 minutes in. Uncle Steph is losing his voice. Not good. What do you think if you have an experience, but there are no projects public when you start as a freelancer? What do you think if you have? What do you think if you have experience, but there are no projects public? Well, you just got to keep looking for the projects. I've talked a lot about freelancing in videos. You can check them out. I think I'm lost a bit in life. All right, see if we can help you out. I got Studioweb, and I'm up to CSS3, but I think I may have a question to ask, but it may be too long to ask here. Can I email you that question? Yes, you can. Email me that question. Just mention you're with Studioweb. I don't necessarily get all of them. Yeah. Pornhub is in Montreal. That is where the porn kings are. Exactly. I miss my calling. Swinging coder. Yeah, I was. Yeah. All right, I'll check out the Discord. Yeah, the Discord's a good place to ask questions, by the way. You should check that out for sure. It's people are joining. Actually, I can see right now as we speak. We just had a couple more people. Black Howling joined next door, or anyway. It's you got the white hand of Steph here, right here. Code Long and Profit. That's the Discord channel. That's where the action is. You can get a lot of good people on there, by the way. Well moderated, good stuff. Steph Camp is where is that? Yeah, well, if you want to get in my mentoring program, shameless self-promotion, I do have bi-weekly live coaching sessions. So where you can put questions to me and get answers from me and other people in the group. We got the private forum. That's the whole point of it. IT guys do not make a lot of money. They get taxed 50% most of the time. If you're getting taxed 50%, that's because you're making a lot of money. I have a non-IT engineering job, but I've learned C#. What's that worth? Well, it depends how practical you are with it. Can you do anything with it? But it could be worth a lot. I'm 40. Suffering sucks. That's like the 21st century Buddha saying, if he was around in the 21st century. I'm 45 years old. Am I too old to start from zero and become a successful programmer with a high-paying job? No. We have somebody in the chat right now who got into it in his 40s. So yeah, you should be fine. What kind of job can I expect with Python, Flash, HTML, CSS? Well, that sounds like a web stack job, right? You'd be surprised um, where you might find that stack used. Although Python is much more of a general purpose language, a lot of use in AI, server automation, that kind of stuff. Although it is used for the web as well. Django or Node for 2023? I would imagine there's many more Node jobs. So I'm not commenting on the quality of the technology. I'm just talking about the jobs, you know? Yeah. What do you think of Go? I haven't looked at it, or if I did, I've forgotten about it. What do I think of Go? It's a niche language. It's a niche language. I wouldn't. It's one of those languages I would consider need to nerd, meaning you learn it if you find a need for it. But I wouldn't be running out there. I wouldn't be running out there looking for. Excuse me. I wouldn't be running out there looking to learn Go. That's it. Now you can tell I'm getting tired here. I'm starting to. Having difficulty speaking here. Your thoughts on the current job market for junior developers? You know, it's not a bonanza job market now. All those layoffs that you're hearing, I talk about that in a few videos. It's mostly middle management people are getting laid off. So yeah, it's going to be a touch harder, but just up your skills, up your game. You can watch previous videos where I talk about how to do that. All right. We're going to be closing off the stream. Appreciate the thumbs, everybody. Question available for everyone and Stefan himself. If I've learned C# for a game dev and want to transition to web dev, deal with data, what's the best language to use in building projects? They're all good, man. C#.net is very performant. It's very good. For me, like if I was building a startup for web, again, depending on the job, because sometimes you may want to use Node, sometimes you may want to use .NET, sometimes you want to use PHP. But as a general rule, my first go-to for web is PHP. Secondary is JavaScript. But C#.net is very, very good. So don't discount that. But once you know any of the C family of languages, C#, Java, JavaScript, to a lesser extent PHP, it's really easy to move from one to the next, really easy. And to move to Python is really easy too. Literally, now that you know Java, now that you know C#, you could pivot and learn Python in just a few days, you know? Don't most clients want some kind of mobile functionality? Is that possible with PHP? Yeah, you just create responsive websites. Most mobile apps can be produced with web technology. So yeah, you can do it. Freelance platforms are a race to the bottom. That's right. That's what people say, but it would seem that way. But if you could position yourself, I know people who actually done very well on those platforms, but you got to be able to position yourself accordingly. All right, so I'm going to be closing off the stream because I'm starting to stutter a little bit too much. I am tired, it seems. All right, thanks for joining the stream, everybody. Appreciate it. Appreciate the thumbs up. Once again, I invite you to join the Discord channel, the Code Long and Profit Discord channel. You can continue the conversation there. Link is below. It's free, no charge. So check that out. All right, so we'll see if I'll catch one last question or two. We got so many here. And yeah, he got his first job at 42. 70K a year and was getting taxed at 50%. Where do you live? Sounds like Europe to me. Which do you prefer, Angular or React? Like I prefer React, but you know, it depends on the jobs. You know, it depends on what you want to do. Yeah. So guys, you want to continue a conversation? You can hit Matthew up. He's one of the moderators on the Discord. He's an active developer. Just went through my boot camp, my mentoring program, and he can help you out with questions. Yeah. So I will bid you guys a farewell. I'll end off with my ASMR coding video. But yeah, continue the conversation in the Discord. Link is below. A whole bunch of people have already joined tonight, so you can join the party. All right, guys. Cheerio. Code long and profit, everybody.